My name's Stuart Bott. I'm the principal from Leopold Primary School. There was an offer of applying for funds, and so we did, and then there was an offer of James coming out and providing some professional learning or some learning for the students. So that's how we came across it. It was through a grant application process, and then there was this offer to have this program today. So I'm really pleased that we did go through that process, and because it's been more beneficial than initially that I thought, and so I'm really pleased that we actually went through it. Yeah.
So my name's James McLennan. I'm from Grassroots Sustainability. Today we're doing an activity called 3 Ways to Start a Garden. To do that, we're actually using some waste materials, bottles, milk bottles. We're going to cut it. We're going to create a self-wicking pot using the bottle and some material, some old, I think this is an old couch cover. Then we're actually looking at 3 different ways kids can start a garden. One way we're planting or starting a garden today is from an old pot of mint. This pot has got heaps of growth in it, and we want to revitalise it. Basically what we're getting the kids to do is pull out a chunk of mint. Attached will be sort of some old woody root and some new growth. We'll get them to trim that down and getting some nice healthy roots, and then we're going to get the kids to plant this into their wicking pot, which they can tend to over the next sort of few weeks, and hopefully by this time next year they'll have a really healthy pot of mint which they can continue to pot up and replant from. The second way we're doing today is we're looking at cuttings. So we've got some rosemary here which I picked this morning, so it's nice and fresh. We're getting the kids to peel off the leaves, so it's just left with a few leaves at the top, and then they can simply poke that into their soil, give it some water, give it some sunlight, and away it goes, and they'll have some rosemary. We can then compare that to other plants as well that they can plant from cuttings, like an indigenous one, pig face. So there's lots of ways that kids can start gardens from cuttings. And then the final way we're doing is planting from seed. Planting them in a little space for kids is great just to see how different seeds evolve. So if we plant some lettuce next to some beetroot next to a bean, they get the concept of different seeds growing different ways. And the seeds I've chosen today are a different variety which usually have a pretty good success rate. So we want to have success with the kids planting so they sort of get lifted by their experience with gardening. The whole point of today is to actually engage kids into gardening, and hopefully the food cycle as well. All of these are sort of central to food. But if we can give them an enthusiasm and a passion for gardening, that's fantastic. And that's what we're seeing. The kids are loving it. They're asking lots of questions. They're walking away wanting to tell stories, wanting to share everyone else. And that's the really important thing about today.
Yeah, the kids have loved it. The feedback from the students and staff has been fantastic. They've learnt so much. They didn't realise the different size in the seeds and things that where the plants go from. So that was great, a great experience and learning for the kids. So yeah.